Let's talk about dating and relationships. Meeting people nowadays seems to become increasingly difficult. If you actually manage to meet someone, then most of the time you will enter the ever so beloved, or rather, ever so hated talking stage. Both try to get to know one another and ask very interesting questions, like the notorious, "What's your favorite color?" Talking stages are mostly boring, and most of them end up in the two stopping to talk to each other altogether. Having multiple talking stages back to back can be very draining and drive one to stop pursuing romantic relationships, at least temporarily. However, if you happen to somehow manage to make it somewhere in that stage, you might end up going on dates and talk to that person more frequently. You might honestly end up not talking anymore a short while after, but if that doesn't happen, then you might be thinking you established a relationship. Making things official seems to be near impossible nowadays though for some reason. Even if you do things together as a couple, basically, one of the two might be quote unquote not ready yet. Commitment is seldomly seen in relationships today, so I guess you can't really even call them relationships but rather situationships. A situationship is a type of relation where two people are basically a couple, but not officially. And whilst not being official, they do things that couples would do. You may not get it twisted though, this is not a relationship. Weirdly enough, if one of the two cheats on the other, which shouldn't be possible since nothing is official, the other may even get mad. I've seen that happening to a couple of my friends before, which have found themselves to be in similar situations. In case the two mutually don't want to commit to one another, can one in that situation be in the right to get mad in that scenario? Situationships are pretty unhealthy if you ask me, especially if one of the two wants to make things official and then sort of waits for the other person to eventually be ready as well. Even worse is when the person that's not ready makes the other person wait and keeps invoking feelings of hope. Since there is no official relationship, there is also no necessity for loyalty and options can be kept open, and quickly moving on to the next person is very much possible. If you ever find one of your friends to be in a situation like this, I urge you to talk to them and talk some sense into them so they'll hopefully get out of this toxic situation. No one should ever have to go through this feeling of uncertainty whilst pursuing an actual relationship. You see, human contact is a basic human need, just like food and water. Look at how we take our food for granted. Imagine you still had to go hunting and gathering outside to have food on the table. Facing adversity in the form of dangerous predators, for example, you would do your best to acquire as much food as needed to survive. If we still had to come by food by putting our lives on the line, we would look at our food in a different way and appreciate the fact that we get to eat much more. Now look at human interaction. We can hop on social media and see people there or even exchange messages with them, which basically substitutes face-to-face human interaction, but poorly. It seems that some things getting easier is actually making them more difficult, as can be seen in the development of forming and maintaining human contacts. It's gotten so easy to interact with people that anyone is basically just one button press away, which may sound awesome because you can reach almost anyone you want on planet Earth. But this may bring up various problems, of which some are not related to today's topic. So what does this have to do with dating? Well, since you can reach so many people so easily, why settle for one person? There are plenty of partner options available thanks to this superb connectivity that we have today. I think that's one of the major reasons why couples don't last as long nowadays, because you can easily move on to a different person. But fixing things with the person you're currently with may actually require effort, and I personally see that effort seldomly in relationships. It is honestly fascinating that despite social media and dating apps existing, fewer people seem to be getting into relationships. Looking at people I know, it is quite shocking, but someone in a relationship seems to be as rare as a shiny Pokemon in Generation 2. I believe it is because meeting people is so easy today that less relationships come into existence. It appears that committing to one person seems to become less and less attractive, as you can have a lot of options at the same time. So more people don't want anything serious, while seemingly only a few want just that, and then naturally don't get involved with somebody that doesn't intend to pursue a serious relationship. Perhaps it is slowly time to pave the way for polygamy and kiss monogamy goodbye. I would love to know where this increasingly spreading allergy to commitment stems from exactly. The only thoughts that I can form regarding that would be that it is convenient to be able to move on to the next person, to keep the involvement of emotional intelligence as low as possible, in case a current situationship/relationship is going south. That should have been everything I wanted to add to this topic for today. I may pick it up again in the future though. Thank you so much for watching.